Hello and welcome back to another episode of Saving Scunthorpe, and we're back today, few games into the new season, and it's looked like a very strong start. So as I say, we have started the new season. If you're happy to hear that we've started well, please do leave a like down below. Comment what you think we can achieve this season. Is this the year that we finally get promotion to the championship? Subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and let's have a little look at what's been going on so far. So we opened our season against Shrewsbury and it looked shaky. We were 1-0 down, but we came back 1-2-1 thanks to goals from Adam Lewis and Karim So, one of our new signings. We will have a look at them in a moment. And then in the EFL Cup first round, we had a 1-0 win against Boreham Wood. It was a very rotated side, but we got the win through one of our youngsters, Ross Hatton. Then we had Tranmere, who, again, it was a late goal, but it was a 1-0 win. Then we hosted Grimsby, who are one of our rivals, and we absolutely battered them in the second half. We battered them in the first half, to be fair. We just couldn't find a way through in the first half. In the second half, we managed to find the goals. 3-0 win, very good. And then most recently, we had a 2-2 draw with Wycombe Wanderers, which wasn't great. I believe we did play quite well. We also did miss a penalty. It was relatively even, but we really should have done better than we did. And we ended up with a draw, but 3 wins and a draw from your first 4 games isn't bad, and it leaves us second in the league. We are only behind Aldershot. It might even be, it is indeed, because of the spelling of the teams. So just because they start with an A and we start with an S, we find ourselves behind them. Wrexham also involved, however they are behind on goal difference. So as I say, very strong start. And we've now got Stoke in the EFL Cup coming up in this episode, but before we do that, we are going to jump in and have a look at transfers. So we'll jump and have a look at our outgoings first of all. Just before the last episode in the playoffs, we sold Nathan Flood for 190,000. We've now sold Yaron Goye for 190,000, possibly rising up to 230. It's already gone up to 200,000 to Lincoln. Ben Grist left to Preston for £90,000. We've then had Philip Lisser leave to Plymouth for 225,000. They got promoted, so they've took him up into the Championship. Dylan Beale we let go for 240,000. I believe we have got a sell-on clause with most of these. We then let Adaramola leave for 275,000, and the rest is just people going out on loan. However, let's jump into the interesting things, and it's our signings. So we start off with Liam Roberts, who's a centre mid. We're going to be training him to be a attacking midfielder most likely. I haven't fully decided. He's gone into our under 21s, I think, at the moment. Very good player, but not quite where we need him to be at the moment. Then we've got Pat Curry, who came in as a centre back. You can see his media description there. However, you can also see his height. He's 5'2". He ain't being no centre back of mine. So I'm currently training him to be a right winger instead. I think that's where he's going to fit in most likely. Have a look at his stats. Let me know if you think he would actually suit somewhere else better, because I'm always willing to take that on board. Next up, we have Ross Hatton, a guy who's come in really as a backup striker for us. These guys are all frees. They're like youngsters that were let go from Premier League teams. He's come in 2-star already, 5-star potential. He's got 14 finishing, which is really good for an 18-year-old. We're training him up to be a bit more composed, but other than that, he looks great as a little backup. Then we have Mark Munns, a player who has also gone into our under-21s, although looking at him here, he just might end up in our first team squad, because I'm looking at this, 17 passing at 18 years old. You could definitely come in and be a deep line playmaker or something like that for me. He's probably going to be getting promoted very shortly. Then we have Henry Afori. He's coming from Tottenham. Another player who's come in. Again, he looks quite good. He's got high determination, good flair, good personality, decent acceleration, and alright-ish pace. Trying to decide whether I want him to be a striker or a attacking mid. I'm leaning towards attacking midfield just because his finishing is 7 and his preferred position right now is false 9, so I'm kind of thinking I'd rather him just be an attacking midfielder. But again, let me know down below if you think you can see something better suited for him. Next up, we have Adam Donovan. We've bought him in from Luton. He was quite expensive. and we've ended up actually sending him out on loan, which probably wasn't ideal. However, with the options that we've got up front, I think that was the best thing for him. And part of the reason for that, we will get to shortly. We've then bought in Kaluda for £56,000 from, where was it from? From there. And he's come in, ball-winning midfielder, looks absolutely fantastic again. He's come straight into the first team and fitted into that defensive midfielder slot brilliantly. In natural fitness 19, his strength is good, his work rate's good, his tackling is fantastic, his marking is good. So what we're really looking for him to do at the moment is just win the ball back for us, play it nice and simple to the players around him. Next up we have Olgia. He's come in on a free transfer, 28 years old. We're using him as a inverted wing back on the left hand side rather than at right back. His left foot's reasonable, so I thought that makes him quite suitable for that position. We kind of needed some left backs given some other stuff that had gone on with, I think Mackenzie had left, Adaramola left, Lewis were kind of looking at as not really being a left back, although still good to have him as an option there. But he's very much really come in for a year or two. I'm not expecting him to stay very long, especially if we get promoted this year, which hopefully we will do. Next up we have Dean Goldsmith come in as a attacking midfielder. He's got quite a lot of flair, good technique, good first touch. So quite a bit there that's going to bring him in there. Really, he's playing as a backup to Sonny Perkins, but particularly coming off the bench, I think he'll fit in really well in that position. Then one of the main reasons we let O'Donovan leave, we've brought in Tezgel as a striker for us. He's mainly going to be a poacher, but he can play advanced forward as well. The only things that he really needs to work on is his decision making isn't great. I'd like his acceleration to improve, but at the moment we're working on more of his ball control to try and help with that. I really want his decisions to improve because that'll make a huge impact on his ability up front. Then we have James Bree, a right back, come in. He's 32, so again, probably only looking at a year or so with him. However, he's come in as a fantastic option on that right hand side for us. He's really well rounded and hopefully will do a very good job for us out there. Next up we have a centre back, Karim So. We bought him in mainly because he was 6'6". It's already paid dividends, as you saw with him getting the winner against Shrewsbury on the opening day. Brilliant jump and reach, pretty good heading, pretty good tackling, good positioning, good concentration. Just overall, really good player. So hopefully he can come in and continue to do what he's done at the start. He initially started on the bench. He's already in our first choice 11. Next up we have Sam Smith, a striker. We bought him in for a trial originally and he scored 4 goals in his trial match. And after that, we actually didn't sign him because he wanted about 14,000. I think it might have even been 16,000. And eventually he's not got a club. And we've managed to bring him in for 10.25 thousand. Still probably a little bit higher than I would like to be paying. However, if he can come in and do what he did in that pre-season game, then we'll be well away. However, he's not starting great. 3 games, no goals, no assists. So hopefully we will see that change very soon. And then finally we have Will Chambers come in on loan from Brighton. We needed another left mid and he's come in. He's actually one of our better left mids once he's actually joined. He's got good pace for this level, great acceleration and agility. He's got good crossing, good dribbling, decent flair, good determination, all things that you'd like to see in your winger. Good work rate, good stamina. So overall, a very good player for us to have in on loan, and hopefully he will make an impact for this season. As you can see here, players that we've let go is Walsh, Hannah, Mackenzie, Hopewell and Hampson. And then I think we might have a couple of free transfers as well. No, apparently not. Never mind. So hopefully we've set ourselves up for a good season. We do need to bring up a backup goalkeeper because if Izagirre does get injured or suspended, we currently don't have a goalkeeper. So that is high on my priority list. But for today, we're going to jump in and play Stoke. And our lineup for the game against Stoke, we've got Izagirre in goal, Bree, Doy, So and Algier as the back four, Kaluda and Russell Denny as the holding midfielders with McAllister on the right, Chambers on the left, Perkins in the number 10 and Tezgel up front. You can see we've had a bit of a change from last season in some of the things that we've done. So Perkins, well, the number 10 I should say, has moved slightly over to the left. The striker stays down the middle. And then we've got a few changes further back as well. Winger on attack on this side with the register backing him up. And then we've got a few different settings that we go into games with. But this game's a little bit different because we're going a little bit more of general counter-attacking because of the fact that we are against Stoke, who are back in the Premier League. And they're 17th at the moment. So they've had a pretty poor start. Losses to Bournemouth and Manchester City, you can't really blame them for. And a draw with Bournemouth, so not horrendous, but not particularly good either for Stoke so far. But hopefully we can add a little bit more misery to them. Izagirre on the ball here, plays it out to Algier at left back, who finds Russell Denny and Chambers now with space to run into, but he's blocked off by Morton, who takes the ball back for Stoke. They have got quite a defensive formation. Look at that. They've got 5 at the back, a defensive mid, then 2 centre mids. So wins the header there, but only goes back to Smith. And then they've only got 2 strikers. So in the first 3 lines of players, they've only got 4 players, which is, I'm saying that. So do we. But there's oh, what have we done? Oh, what has he done? Oh my goodness, we handed it Stoke a chance on a plate. I don't know how we missed that. We then go into another highlight, and Abbott plays the ball out for Stoke at the back. Finds Gonzalez on the left-hand side, who's going to attack down that side. Bree gets his whole body in the way and forces them backwards. Telby plays the ball forward to Ramos, to Nemecha. Ball into the box, and this time a much better shot. However, Izagirre is equal to it and makes a good save. Corner kick is going to be sent in by Morton from our left-hand side towards the far post. Doy heads it out for another corner kick. We are on key highlights, just thought I'd check. Sometimes in between episodes, I use extended highlights to kind of track a bit more of what's going on in the games. Ball towards the far post. It's headed over the bar, though. Breeblin on the ball for Stoke. Van der Zwan is down the wing. Gets a ball into the box, and it was towards Ramos, but we get it away only as far as Rebellin, and Nemecha then put Stoke 1-0 up. 25 minutes gone, and they lead. Well, although we haven't seen the highlights to display it, we appear to be given a decent account of ourselves. It's just a shame that really their big chance, their goal, was, what's that, a 0.64 chance, so they're creating some decent chances, whereas we are not creating very good chances so far. But let's try going a little bit more shoot on sight. Let's see if we can pull something off through that. Algier with a throw in on the left hand side, gets it back and drives it towards the box. Tezgel scores, makes it 1-1. And just after half time, we have found our way back on level terms. We're going to make a couple of changes here. 71 minutes gone. Zeman is going to come on for Doy at the back. And we're going to bring Curry on for McAllister, who's not having a great game so far. And then finally, we'll bring Barkworth on for Perkins, who again, not really having a great game. We have a highlight here, and Silla plays the ball back to Abbott for Stoke. Van der Zwan forward to Barnes, who's going to try and get down this left-hand side. And does so, gets a cross in towards Lowe. Algier heads it away for a corner, which means the pressure is still going to be on us here, and it's not going to result in another highlight. However, we do get one moments later. Smith throwing the ball in, finds Chotard now. Van der Zwan shoots from range, and Izagirre forced into a good save. That was nearly a brilliant strike. I'm looking at Russell Denny and thinking we need to bring him off soon because he's getting quite tired. However, Ramos with the corner kick towards Abbott at the far post. It's headed away twice, but only to Smith, who's still got a chance here on the edge. Never mind. Now, as mentioned, we are going to bring Russell Denny off, and it's going to be for Stephen McGee. and hopefully he can do something for us in this last 15 minutes. Izagirre with a long ball forward towards Curry, who's, let's be honest, he's 5'2". He's never winning that header. And we give the ball away a bit cheaply there. Smith to Chotard, forward to Ramos to Lowe. Well, that looked offside, and it is, thankfully, because Lowe puts the ball in the back of the net. But we've got away with one there. Bree with a free kick from deep, sends it towards the box, but it's headed away by Silla. And Smith now breaking for Stoke. We've got plenty of men back, though, and force them to play backwards to Abbott. Ball over the top, finds Ray Bleen across the box. Maybe Silla scores. And we've given a good account of ourselves, particularly in the second half. But unfortunately, that goal is probably going to come too late for us to do anything about it. We're going to send Smith on for the last few minutes, just in case we can find anything else, as we give the ball away very cheaply from the kickoff. I assume this highlight is going to end any moment now. I think it's just because I was making a sub. Bree heads it out for a throw-in, and that is indeed going to be the end of the highlight. Smith with a throw-in on the right-hand side. It's back to Silla, and then Smith back to Abbott. Into Chotard. He's got space to turn into, gets into the box. Plays it back to Smith, and Silla on the edge. Into Ramos, who puts it wide. And unfortunately, we do lose 2-1 to Stoke. However, I do think we gave a good account of ourselves in that game against Premier League opposition. And hopefully, back in the league, we can bounce back from that disappointment and continue our good form. And I will let you know how we continue that form. Probably somewhere around November time, we'll come back and see how we're getting on. But if you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like down below. Comment what you think we can achieve this season. And let me know, as I say, what position you think particularly Curry should go into, because I'm not sure where to put him at the moment. I'm going with right wing at the moment. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and thank you very much for watching.